afternoon. This is your Pan-African show called Afreeqa with your host Gatsalork Seifu. Today we are diving into the education world and we have a great guest for you. Thank you for coming to our studio.
Thank you for having me.
Could you please introduce yourself?
Namaste and salam no at Ethiopia. My name Hetal means love. I am a proud wife of a loving husband and a doting mother of a 21-year young son.
Beautiful.
Though I hail from India, Africa is home for me. This is our fourth destination in Africa. Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and now it's at Ethiopia. Out of these four countries, I have had the privilege to teach in three of them, Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. I would say I have always been a teacher at heart, and if I were not a teacher, I would be an aspiring teacher. So that is me.
So what inspired you to be a teacher?
I have always wanted to be a teacher. I would say I think I was hardly 5 when I used to play teacher. Like with imaginary students, I would actually enact and role play whatever happened during the day, school hours. So I would come home and I would be the teacher of these imaginary students, and I would play my favorite teacher. So this went on, and at my age of 12, when I was in the 8th grade, I started tutoring younger kids. So I would say I have been a teacher forever, and I think it is a cosmic calling.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, so it is a cosmic calling, but yes, what kept me inspired as a teacher for 3 decades now is the fact that when you look at students and their happy faces, when they have understood a difficult or an alien concept, and the gratification I used to get just by looking at those happy faces, I think that is what has kept me inspired. And we used to call these aha moments. And I can say in these 3 decades of my teaching tenure, I have had like many, I have seen and witnessed many aha moments. The sheer admiration from students and the fact that, you are conscious of their valuable time, because a minute multiplied by the number of students is no longer a minute, it becomes an hour. So it is definitely a very responsible job. Actually are dealing with the most valuable thing, that is the students' time. And being with young and energetic students, I always felt young and vibrant myself. So going to the classroom, seeing that admiration from students and witnessing those happy smiles and faces, this is what kept me going. And I love my students, and I have teaching. Yes, I love teaching, and I have been fortunate to have students who also reciprocated those feelings.
Brilliant.
So, yes.
So I have to ask you a personal question. Mm-hmm. When you were going to school, did you have a teacher that you truly admired?
Yes.
Okay. Before you're wanting to be a teacher, or
I always wanted to be a teacher, but I think it was all subconscious. Okay. Because I knew I will grow up to be a teacher. But every student has that favorite teacher who had probably the most influence in their lives. So I had like 2 teachers. One when I was in my primary years. I'm still in touch with her. I found her through, thankfully, Facebook, and it was so nice to connect with her. And the other teacher, who was a nun, because I studied in a convent school, and she had the most profound effect on me. Sister Maureen, we are still in touch, and it is funny that she recently contacted me because she needed some help with technology.
Wow.
And it's amazing because, it's like the life cycle.
Exactly.
But I really owe her. She was our English teacher and she was our class teacher for 2 years. And she was way ahead of her time. So what I started teaching as a teacher in International Baccalaureate or Cambridge or the AP curriculum is what she used to teach in those days. So she was way ahead of her time. And I owe, I would say, a little bit of my skills to her.
What is your motto as a teacher? And what is your teaching philosophy?
So encouraging curiosity and creativity has always been my motto. It is very simple. Once we whet the appetite for curiosity in students, learning becomes easy. Curiosity then followed by creativity is, I think, the best practice. Creativity, why? Because youth are atom bombs of energy and they can get easily distracted and bored if we do not challenge them in the right fashion, if we do not engage them constructively. So being cool, I think teachers must be cool in this era because we are competing with likes of Insta Reels and TikTok videos. The attention span is shrinking in today's world. And to keep them constructively engaged, the teachers must always strive to be cool and to be creative in the classroom. And I think that is how we can keep the children focused and motivated to learn more. Okay. So I feel creativity is one of the most essential requirements for a teacher in the classroom to connect with the learners, to make sure that they are engaged and they are learning in a meaningful way.
So now this is up to the teacher, right? To actually trigger their curiosity. Now, you know where we are. The creative side of teachers. Do you think it's there to even a small bit touch their curiosity? I'm talking in our world, in Ethiopia.
When they realize that the teacher is sincere and serious about them, and the teacher means well, students will definitely, I think, get that spark. That's what we are looking for. And like Rita Pearson says, students learn from teachers who love them. Or students love to learn from the teachers whom they love. So it's a two-way thing. Yeah. So first, as a teacher, I think we need to show the students how sincere we are and we mean well, and then rest all will fall in place.
So my question was directed towards the teachers. Because how do you teach a teacher to be a creative teacher?
Okay, the first and most important requirement here is that the teacher should have the love for education. So it's a very bad saying, and I just don't like that saying because it has been going on for ages. Those who can, they do it, and those who can't, they teach. I am sorry, teaching is the most responsible job and the most underrated job. We are dealing with the future of this world. Exactly. And if we are ourselves not serious about this, I don't think we should take up teaching. So a teacher, first thing, should have a heart of gold, should have that love for education and love for children. Exactly. Then everything else will fall in place. So for the teachers to be creative, first they need to be sincere with themselves, whether they really want to be into teaching, because it is not like if I can't do anything, I'm into teaching. It has to be passion. It has to come from within. And only then they can do the rightful thing for the students.
How have you made a positive impact on students?
If we treat students as a complete individual, because I have been associated with youth, I have taught senior students. It is basically treating them as adults, but at the same time also realizing that they are students. They are still young. They are in their teenage years, and they have their teenage issues, the identity crisis. So basically connecting with them, making them feel comfortable, engaging with them in a positive way. That is how they would start treating you as their confidant or have their trust in you. And probably that would create a very good impact on them, because when they see you walking the path of kindness, of compassion, of love, they would also start following you. So that is what I believe, that you have to walk the talk.
Beautiful. Now, you had mentioned AP earlier. What is AP?
AP is the short form for Advanced Placement. It is associated with the College Board. So basically, it's a course which students can take to get college credits. So while they are still in senior school, they can do the Advanced Placement course, and they get credits for the course, and they can actually use those credits when they move into university.
What are the most remarkable experiences that left an impression on you about teaching?
Teaching is a very responsible job, but at the same time, it is so fulfilling. When you see your students blossom and flourish from a child to a lovely human being, like that metamorphosis, it's absolutely amazing. And I think teachers are blessed because we are the ones who can actually witness that growth in students, the transformation, the positive transformation, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, that is like a perk of being a teacher. And of course, then you're always associated with youth. So when you see them well placed, because like I said, I teach senior students, and now most of my senior students, they are abroad, they are well placed. So whenever we travel, whenever I'm traveling, we make it a point to meet up. And it is so heartening to see them well placed and doing so well in their lives. So the kids of yesterday, they have become like the leaders of today. It's amazing.
That must feel very nice.
Yeah, I mean, which other profession gives you that kind of happiness and gratification?
You know, sometimes asking this question to a teacher, I mean, I'm thinking maybe you might know. How do your students view you?
Okay. So most of my students, they treat me as a mother.
Nice.
My students are very comfortable with me. They can just walk into my office at any time of the day. That is the kind of comfort level we share. And they find a confidant in me. I can say that because they would just walk in casually, chat about their friends, sometimes even tell me their issues. And yeah, I mean, it's a good feeling because when the students treat you as a friend or a mentor or a guide, it makes everything else so much easier, like even the learning. Because I would say that the job or the role of a teacher does not end only in the process of transfer of knowledge, but it is a holistic approach where we have to understand the student, be their confidant, be their mentor, be there when they need us, basically. Not just like I teach my students chemistry or theory of knowledge or research, so my role does not end there. It goes on. So it's like a replacement of a parent in school.
Now, you did mention you had the love of Africa, and that's why you've been working in Africa. But of course, the question's still going to come up. Why Africa?
So Africa is close to my heart. It is home. And we know that the maximum population here is youth. So definitely it has the highest potential. Africa, basically the youth in Africa, they have this, I would say, an extra point which might categorically separate them from the rest of the world. there is maximum potential. And from my personal experience, I would say I have received a lot of respect and love from my students from Africa, support and admiration from the parents. And like I said, that it has the maximum potential. So my teaching skills and education have had the maximum benefits here in Africa. Students have benefited more so in Africa than the other parts of the world. Yes, so Africa is home, and this is our fourth destination, like I said, in Africa. So I want to be here in Africa forever.
Beautiful. How can we make education a driver of positive change in Africa?
Education is the leverage point, be it Africa or elsewhere, to make a positive change in the world. So it is the most important factor. But I would say when we are talking about Africa, the first thing we need to do is provide universal education. That's the most important. Access to literacy. So the first step should be access to literacy, and then 100% literacy with good or not so good education, but literacy is important. And then definitely we must focus on quality education, effective education. So the drivers are first ensure that we have 100% literacy rate, and then of course provide best and quality education. And I think the most important factor in providing quality education is to focus on the head teachers or the principals of the school. We need to ensure that the person who is been recruited as the principal or a head teacher of a school has a heart and character which has a love for education. That's the crux and the bottom of everything that we are talking here. So the person should have a heart of gold, should be like having the love for education, should be a visionary. So once that person is found, then the focus can be on training the person for the required educational management skills. And of course, then drafting the policies and all that would be later on. But the first most important thing is to find a person who is committed and dedicated for a good quality education.
Okay. Can you compare and contrast between the African countries that you've been, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Ethiopia, from a practicing educator's point of view?
Well, I have been fortunate to have been teaching in international schools in Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. Of course, in Ethiopia, I decided to take a break from teaching. But with my limited and specific experience in these countries, and that also in those international schools, it would be very difficult to profile them into one space. They are all very diverse. Even within the country itself, there is a lot of diversity. So profiling them into one space is not ideal or practical.
Yeah, you can't.
But having said that, as a conscious educator and as a part of our International Baccalaureate philosophy, I also volunteered into the neighboring schools wherever I taught. So we had these programs from the school where they would adopt a village school nearby, a local school. And as educators, we would volunteer. But I feel sad to say that the discrepancies are huge. The gaps are vast. Where in the international elite schools, we have the resources at hand. I mean, everything is at your disposal, but same on the other hand, in the local schools, the basic facilities like midday meals for the schools or toilets or even electricity was not provided. So somewhere definitely it pinches you that there is a huge gap and that need to be filled. But I have received a lot of love from all these countries, from the students wherever I went, even at the local schools. They were more than grateful to all the teachers that volunteered. And I would feel I was blessed to have had that opportunity to go and serve these people, serve these students, because there is immense potential there. It's just the matter of tapping that potential.
Okay.
So we do need very good educational policies and good education institutes and systems that the government should focus on.
Not to mention good educators.
Of course.
The main ones.
That's the main point, yeah.
Okay. What is your advice to education policy makers? That's a serious one, isn't it?
It is a serious one, yeah. I mean, it would actually take like a 2-day workshop to train these people.
Which we might need.
But on a serious note, like I keep repeating, the education policy makers first should focus on the head teachers. So please use profiling options when they are recruiting head teachers. The head teachers should be committed towards education. They should have that dedication. Again, the same thing, they should have a heart of gold, love for education. And once all that falls in place and we find the right person, then of course policies could be drafted in such a way that it can benefit the students in the long term.
Okay.
So once the head teacher is a perfect match, and when the teachers, who are the pillars of education, when they see that they have a kind, compassionate, and a passionate head teacher to whom they can turn to, they would also become more serious and interested in providing quality education to the students. So the output for this, it might be a long process, but the output at the end of the day would be really, it would be far outreached, and it would actually provide the best and the quality education to the students.
Now we come to the parents. You know, we all have kids, so we all need the advice. So what advice do you give parents?
So parents are true partners in the evolution of the students. So they need to partner with the teachers. And I can say, fortunately, in this era, parents are much more informed than they were earlier. And they are definitely building a partnership with teachers. Okay. They're developing that. Basically, having that faith in teachers and giving the teacher a leeway. At the same time, it is the responsibility of the teachers to win the confidence of the parents. Okay. It's a two-way traffic, I would say. And like teachers are a replacement of parents at home, and parents can be teachers at home for this, in school and at home, so vice versa. But this interplay and the mutual agreement between teachers and parents has to go hand in hand. So that, at the end of the day, we are all working towards the betterment of the child.
Exactly.
So it would be beneficial for the student at the end of the day.
Now we dive into art, because I've learned that you have now dove into the art world. So I would like to know how you got interested in it and what made you, because you have, like you said, taken a break from the education department since you've been in Ethiopia, and you're basically educating yourself, which is a beautiful thing too.
Yes, I would like to put it that way. So I paint to let my soul know that I am listening. I always wanted to paint, but the teaching responsibilities and the family responsibilities probably never gave me that kind of time and space where I could explore this hidden side of me. Thankfully, after coming to Ethiopia, and because it was COVID times, I decided to take a break from teaching. And I delved into art. So one fine day, I just pick up a canvas and start painting. And believe me, it has been a beautiful journey. Nice. I am not sure of the output, but I enjoyed the process of actually translating my abstract ideas into concrete, tangible artwork. And I'm also very happy and thankful that people here have been able to connect with my art. So I just held my first exhibition in January, nice. And it was a success. So having been self-taught, I think it's a proud moment for me.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What inspires your voice in terms of the paintings you make?
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I paint to make sure that my soul is listening. So when people look at my art, they should feel compassion, they should feel love, and that is what my paintings portray. I also want the people to feel the Shakti. Shakti in India, in Hindi, means the power that lies or resides within us. So when a person looks at my painting, that person should feel love, compassion, kindness, and the Shakti, that is the power that resides within us. So most of my paintings are focused around the themes of femininity, animals. Also, because we spent most of our time in Tanzania, like 6 years of my life, I have lived in Tanzania, which is a coast, and the sea inspired me. So the calmness, its serenity, though it's so vast, yet it's so calm and beautiful. That is what inspired me to paint. A lot of my paintings are based on ocean themes. So yes, that is what I want to portray as a message to the world.
Brilliant. Somebody told me a little secret. Now we're coming to the end. This is my last question. And it's about a book.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So I hear you're also writing a book.
Oh, my.
So now we would like to know what inspired you into writing the book, and what, if you could actually tell us, and what the book is about.
You must live your life abundantly, compassionately, and romantically.
Right.
So I'm a very romantic person by nature, and I feel that whatever makes your heart swoon and your soul sing is what you must do.
Brilliant.
I grew up watching a lot of romantic movies, be it Bollywood, be it Hollywood. Also, I'm an avid reader, so I might have read like 1,000 books based on love stories. And then one fine day I decided, why not write my own? So yes, I'm writing a love story. I'm in the process. I'm not sure, but probably and hopefully it gets completed by the end of 2023.
Brilliant. So I have one more. And this is in the musical world. So I've also heard that you have a beautiful voice and that you do sing.
And I am sure that is my husband who told you that.
Yes, yes, definitely.
He thinks I sing beautifully, but I'm sure I don't sing beautifully. So I love singing, but I love singing to myself and him, because I think I am not audible most of the time. But I can try. And I can leave it to the audience to decide what they think. So I heard there is one Hindi song which is very popular amongst Africans as well. So I'll try to sing that song. Bole chodiya, bole kangana, hai main ho gayi teri sajna, tere bin jiyo nahi lagda main te mar gaya, le ja, soniye le ja. Oh.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to have this conversation with you.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you again for tuning in. This is your show, Afreeqa, with your host, Ghazal Saifu. Thank you.
Namaste.